Hello, Redlo friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Hello Redlo podcast. I'm your host, Terry Mullen, and I'm so happy you're here. If you're new here, welcome. Redlo is older spelled backwards. I'm older, and perhaps you are too. Or you're just curious about what I have to say. But we talk about all things. How to navigate life transitions, overcome hard things, and rediscover ourselves in this season of life. And we step forward one step at a time. And I am so excited about my guest today. You will meet my friend Tammy Doering. She talks about aging beautifully, how she started her skincare business and why she did it, and how she became a #1 best-selling author at midlife. Sit back, listen in. It's a great episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hello Redlo podcast. I'm your host, Terry Mullen, and I'm so excited about my guest today. You're going to meet an amazing woman, someone who is just brilliant and smart and beautiful. She's written a #1 bestseller. My friend Tammy Doering. Yes, she's a #1 Amazon bestseller in 11 categories. Let that digest a moment because it's so hard to do that. It's absolutely incredible. She wrote an amazing book. She is the president and CEO of Pamper Me Day Spa and Aviv Spa Dead Sea Products located in Anniston, Alabama. Tammy is also a cosmetic chemist, a board-certified manicurist instructor, a licensed barber, a certified insanity instructor. We're going to talk about that. And an age beautifully health appearance coach. And she's beautiful. Her skin is amazing. Her mission is to help women eliminate harmful toxic chemicals that are lurking in their personal care products, achieve glowing skin, a healthy body, and have sustainable energy so they have a full cup and are able to give back to those that they love so much. So without further ado, welcome, Tammy Doering. I am so excited that you're here.
Oh, Terry, thank you so much for having me. I'm so blessed and honored to be here today. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I'm just so excited for you all. Those of you that can see, Tammy has absolutely amazing skin. And just a quick backstory before we really get started and dive into Tammy's message. We met through a book program that we wrote. We each wrote our books in, and then we met in Dallas, actually, at a conference. And Tammy was so amazing. She and her husband asked a few people to come up to the room to try their products that we're going to talk about. And I was so intrigued because her skin is absolutely beautiful. And she looks like she's literally 30 years younger than she is. And so we got to try these products. We all had these mud masks on, and we all just got to connect and just have great conversation. So I still have those photos from that moment. So
You need to
um,
put those up on the podcast later afterward, because that
I
makes it much more real.
Oh, I will. I still have them. I look back at that, and so I'll share those. They're really wonderful. But I'm just so grateful you're here. I'd love for you to share your story a little bit as a midlife woman who started this business and share about your journey, and because you actually created these products themselves. So I'd love for you to share kind of your whole backstory and what inspired you to do it. And I'm going to let you go ahead and just kind of start and share about that because it's really incredible. It's amazing.
Well, I don't really want this to be about me. I want this to be about others. But the book that I wrote, Age Beautifully, it is actually the entire history for 25 years of health nightmares that I endured. I went through everything medically first. Some of these medical issues I battled with the doctors for 14 years, and was literally getting worse. The worst thing that I was encountering when I was 33 was fibromyalgia. My daughter was a year old when I began the symptoms. By the time she was 2, I was in full blown just disability. I was a zombie. I was in the bed. The getting up to go to the bathroom was a chore. It took a year for them to figure out what was happening to my body. When they did figure it out, of course, the drugs came, and then it was even worse. Because then you gain 40 pounds and you are lethargic and you can't do anything. And, my husband and I had been married since I was 24. And when he went to hug me, it would hurt. And I couldn't be a mom. I couldn't be a wife. I couldn't. We were in business together. We had dial-up internet business in 1995. And I believe that my dedication to helping that company explode is what caused my illness, because every waking moment was here in this building. We had 133 modems that we had to keep active all the time because we had 1,000 people at all, 24 hours a day. And if one hung up, then the rest wouldn't work. And so we made a nursery here. What's now my facial room used to be Paddington Bear Nursery for my daughter. We just literally camped out here in our building, and it stole my life away. But I didn't know this. I didn't understand because, I've always heard work hard, it pays off, give it everything. Spirit of excellence is what I was raised with.
Yeah.
Not perfection, but excellence, do
Yeah.
it to the best of your ability. And so when I would do something, I would always, okay, well, how can I make it better? How can I make it better? And I would live in this, grind, so to speak, in my 30s. And by the time the meds had taken me way further than I ever wanted to go, with all of the side effects and the weight gain, and just, oh my gosh, just sometimes just opening my eyes hurt. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't die, is how I would feel.
Yeah.
And I'm here still. Why? What is my purpose, God? And I finally one day I just said, I've had it. I was such a basket case. I was losing my hair and going bald from seborrheic psoriasis. I lost all 10 fingernails to acrylic abuse, that they were using an illegal primer that dissolved my nail beds. I had no fingernails for over 2 years. I had nail fungus on all 10 toes. In my 30s, because I live in Alabama, as a kid, we didn't know anything about sunscreen. Of course, now we know sunscreen will kill you. But I went through a lot of sunburns, and so my skin in my 30s looked like old shoe leather. And I looked 20, 30 years older in my 30s. And it was like, okay, this is not what I signed up for, God. What what's the deal here, right?
Yeah.
Show me a better way or take me home, was what my prayer was. And in my prayer time, he literally spoke to me audibly, not just some booming voice, but this still small little voice in the back of my mind. I kept hearing, "You're treating my temple like the shack out back." That's all I kept hearing over and over
Wow.
again. Not a temple, shack out back. And it just kept over. And I was like, okay, so what am I doing to make us a shack out back? It's like everything you're putting on your body is killing you. All the perfumes, all the candles, all the plug-ins. I was a fragrance junkie. It had to smell good or it was wrong. I sold all of this stuff in my boutique back then. I was creating my own version of like a Bath and Body Works, finding different products and bringing them in, because we had all of these dial-up internet clients. So it was nothing. They come in and pay their bill. They'd buy a candle, or they'd buy a cream, or they'd buy something else that I had for sale. And so I just started on this journey. And, back when you had dial up, you had all the noise and hope to God it'll connect within the next 5 minutes. This one day it was not an accident. It was a God thing. My computer landed on medical documentation of healing taking place at the Dead Sea. Well, I'm in Alabama. That's sweet and wonderful, but how am I going to get the Dead Sea to me? And so over the course of time, he started teaching me about his garden, about his herbs, and then about essential oils, and how each one of these were designed with us in mind for our total body restoration and our healing. And I use that word as a person that has been healed, not claiming that our products will heal you. But God used these to heal me and detoxify the entire body. And in the back of my book, Age Beautifully, I actually have the medical references of every documentation that gave me the concept, and then God gave me the formulas and the download to make a product to take care and address that particular product problem with a product. And so, it's all of these things came together because of me seeking, because of me knocking, because of me asking. We have not because we ask not. And so that's where God just started making this revelation about the beauty industry. He said, everything in the industry is killing people in the name of beauty. And when I went back to school, when I had all this healing happen, I was like, I'm going to teach on natural. And now I just got in one of my medical spa things. Everything's going natural. Here we are. I went back to school in '03. Here we are 21 years later. They're finally getting the gist of this.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, even the salon products, I started looking up products through that magazine, looking at the list of garbage and toxins and carcinogens that are still in these products, claiming to
Yeah.
be beautiful and healthy for us, and they're not.
Right.
Well, they're in there at small percentages. Women use 15 to 30 items a day for beauty care. So if it's in there
Wow.
1%, you're looking at 15 to 30% in the morning, 15 to 30% at night. You're talking up to 60% a day contaminating your body for you to eliminate wrinkles and fine lines or injections that actually literally debilitate your body and make you end up looking plastic over time. Yeah, so my message to women is don't fall for marketing ploys.
Mm.
Do the backside research. And if you don't want to do the backside research, go to free gift by Tammy, free gift from TammyD.com. I've got the homework on there. You can download the PDFs, and that way you can look up on your phone or on your products. Do any of these exist in here? As a
Mm.
licensed manicurist instructor and a licensed barber, I went that route because I could use mannequin hands to do the fake nails, which I had to get to go through school. But
Right.
I help women get rid of that junk. Gels, acrylics, dipping systems. Ladies, the toxins that your nails absorb is 2 to 3 times more than your skin. Just let that sink in. It goes directly into your bloodstream. And
Wow.
I honestly believe that the MMA primer that was being put in OPI bottles at my nail place literally are what caused all of my health issues because it was absorbed. I mean, if it dissolved my nail beds,
Yeah.
that toxin is going directly into my body. But
Yeah.
women don't know this. They go get their nails done because it's beautiful. But
Right.
when that stuff comes off, your hands aren't beautiful.
Yeah.
They're nasty. And they
Yeah.
fix them. That's what I told the lady, fix it. She goes, I cannot. You have no nail beds. Next day, that woman was closed up and she was gone. She was the owner and she was doing that to me and I didn't know it. So
Wow.
when you go and get salon products, guess what we're taught? We're taught about overexposure to all those chemicals and how to recognize we're getting sick because we're
Yeah.
around it so much.
Right.
These are things that women don't know because it's been so glamorized.
Right.
It's something that, you got to be aware. You've got to, and then we're taking our children, our grandkids, and we're putting it on them. Let's go to
Yeah.
the spa together. Let's go get mani pedis. Let's go get
Yeah.
this stuff done in the name of beauty. And the whole time, and especially don't do it to the young ones. Oh, please, dear God,
Wow.
their little bodies, they're being contaminated at such an early age, and you've got to be aware of these things.
Wow.
Go on, Harry. So I need to shut up.
Yeah.
You got a
No,
question?
no, no. This is so good. I don't know if you know, I have a cosmetology background. That's my background too. And
I
so,
did not know that.
yeah. So,
Well,
I was just, I am with you. And I was just telling somebody the other day that the Brazilian hair straightening, like, actually has formaldehyde in it. A lot of these salons have actually even banned it in the salon now because it's so toxic.
yeah.
Um, so I am really tracking with you on all of this. And I think the thing that's scary is, particularly with our nails, that we all think the gel nails are so great, but they're so bad.
Oh, they're
Uh,
so
yeah.
damaging, debilitating to your
Yeah.
your nail
The
beds.
skin. So I want to talk a little bit about, you actually have formulated your products, and I know for sure I experienced that the Dead Sea mask alone just to see what it did to my face. It's amazing. Like, even looking at you today, I mean, your skin, Tammy, is just flawless. It's beautiful. You look so young. But you actually, when you're talking about downloads, you got the downloads for these products. You actually have formulated and created these products yourself, right?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, with
Yeah.
with no schooling, it's just been a Holy Spirit infused. I, as I was studying herbs and natural oils and butters from all over the world, I would end up with a problem going on, and every story is in the book. But I would say, okay, God, I've got this issue. I don't know what to do. Can you help me understand my next steps. And I
Mhm.
would literally dream formulas. I would wake up at like 3 o'clock. I don't know why he picks 3 a.m., but it's just something about
Of
that number.
course.
3 a.m. I had a little pad and a pencil beside my bed at that time in my life because these downloads would come and I was like, I'd get out of bed and I was like, I don't know, I just figure out how to do it in bed. But I would sit there and jot it all down and I would buy when I'd learn about an herb, I'd learn about an oil, an essential, I'd buy little small amounts. I had
Yeah.
to feel it, touch it, smell it, taste it. I know that sounds weird, but I did
Yeah.
because I just wanted to know everything about it. I wanted to
Yeah.
intimately understand it. So when I would get these downloads, then I'd take the formula that he gave me and I would go into my junk room and I had those big metal shelving racks that roll so I could move them around in the junk room
Yeah.
area. Well, they'd be all lined up there and I'd look at them and I go, oh yeah, that does that and that does that. And all of a sudden I realized, oh my gosh, you really know what these are. These aren't just things in a bottle. These are God's medicine. And so then
Wow.
I would take it and I would work it and tweak it and I would formulate it. And then he would show me in a dream how to apply it, or he'd show me through medical documentation online about different treatments they were doing and how they were doing it, and then how to manifest that here in my home. Yeah, or this is my office, but in my home.
Yeah.
And so I would start doing that. And then I started learning about ways to intensify the treatments. And then I was like, well, what about if I offered a day spa where women could get this stuff natural and everything about it is good for them? I mean, all the way down to we use a probiotic as a preservative system. We have no toxins we are the only company on planet Earth that I can find right now that has zero toxins, zero carcinogens. Everything is healthy. Everything is good for you. I wouldn't recommend eating it because it wouldn't taste good, but it wouldn't hurt you if you did eat them.
Wow.
Especially the mud mask. Don't eat the mud mask.
Yeah.
But I'm so serious about this stuff. I import 40,000 pounds of the raw material from the Dead Sea that's
Yeah.
pure. I was getting garbage. I found out about it, went over there, Israel and Jordan, to find a distributor that would work with me and literally dredge the Dead Sea as I said I needed it. And I've
Okay.
had that relationship now since 2008. And it's just been a blessing because I
Wow.
know everything I'm working with is 100% safe, pure, and beneficial for us.
Wow.
I'll be 61 in August this year, and I literally look back in my previous, and I'm like, wow, I'm kind of aging backwards. Of course,
Yeah.
Zoom helps with that.
No,
But
I've seen you in person. Your
you
skin is,
see me, yeah.
I have. It's your skin. You look like you are here on the screen. So when you manufacture these products, do you all do this yourself or do you have a third
No,
party
we
that
do
does it?
it. We do
You
it.
do it yourself.
I
Wow.
actually started out in my kitchen and then I was living in the kitchen until like 4 o'clock in the morning when I was making product back in the day. And my husband's like, we got to separate home and work somehow. And I said, well, why don't we utilize some of the rooms in the office complex and I can shift. And I said, maybe we could take one of the back areas and make a lab for it. And so we created a lab area with the shelving and everything off the floor. I follow GMP facility rules and regulations with the FDA. I'm not registered with them yet because when you do that kind of registration comes a lot of other things that
Yeah.
we're okay right now, but I want to reach it another level before that happens.
Yeah.
But I if I'm using it on myself, I know what kind of quality is going on because I have a spirit of excellence and I just literally I'm kind of a freak about it, especially our day spa. We've had 15 consecutive 100s from the Board of Cosmetology for the quality of our rooms and our
Wow.
facility. And nobody here in this town has ever done 15 years straight. So we
Wow,
are
Tammy.
very dedicated to making sure that we're doing the best we can with what we've got.
Wonderful.
So it's just something that I'm passionate about. I really am always looking for ways that I can age beautifully because I don't want to. You can spend almost $50,000 in a year on these injections, and there's no telling how many hours in the doctor's
Right.
offices and stuff like that, and it doesn't stay. So
Right.
why don't we like brush our teeth every day? Why don't we take care of our skin every day?
Right.
It
And so
doesn't make
with
sense.
you've never done any injections. Your skin has
No.
all been reversed from everything that you have done. What do you think your top three products are? And we're going to put all this in the show notes so everybody's going to have access to this. We'll give them a code for a discount. I'm so excited. I've tried the mud mask, so I know how amazing that is. But what do you think your top three products are?
Well, the top three are going to be our small facial kit. We have it lasts about a month. It
Okay.
has 6 steps. It's got facial wash, toner, serum, cream, mud mask, and dermabrasion. The little kid actually comes with a boar's hair fan brush. We even put toner pads in there. We put inserts for the jars because we have to seal the jars with an electric magnetic sealer when we ship so they don't leak because our products are alive.
Yeah.
And so when it gets warm, it literally begins to grow and then it'll go back down. And so when it was getting into like, the UPS trucks, it
Yeah.
would grow and the little insert would not hold it tight enough and then it would leak into the bags. And of course, then we have to send a whole new bag. So we've had to
Right.
learn through
Yeah. No.
experience, but that's the
Yeah.
best teacher. But
Yeah.
that would be our very first, that kit runs $85
Okay.
and it lasts about a month to probably 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
And it has everything. And ladies, my secret to my skin looking young, I mud mask every day. I
Mm-hmm.
started this when I was 47. I had a client say, "Can I do it daily?" And I said, "Well, I do it twice a week." I don't know that answer, so I'll find out. And then I thought, you know what? Why don't you do this till you're 80? Let's see what your skin will look like when you're 80 if you keep going. And it's just a matter of it takes 2 minutes
Yeah.
to paint that on. Now my mask starts here. As a Caucasian woman, we age right here bad, and so I don't
Yeah.
want that looking old and crepey. So
Yeah.
I mud mask from here up.
Yeah.
And then by the time you remove it, it takes another 2 minutes, and then your toner, serum, cream, that's another two. So under 10 minutes, you can have your skin looking fabulous because it firms, tones, tightens, shrinks large pores. It minimizes the appearance of all the fine lines and the wrinkles. It actually aids with lightening of age spots on the skin, scars,
Wow.
minimizes those. I've watched it reduce scarring. I need to get a picture for you of Gaynell that you can use because Miss Gaynell is 72. She came to me last November, had been in a fire bomb in her backyard that blew up on her face. She is probably one of the darkest African American clients I have. She's almost like a Nigerian color,
Yep.
and it burned her skin, almost all of it white. And the doctors
Wow.
told her that her pigmentation would never return normal, that it would always be splotchy at best if she was lucky enough. Girl, her skin is flawless. Flawless. I've got the
What?
before, and 6 months later, I got the after. And it's even now to this day, she actually was a guest speaker for me in January at my women's group. And her skin looks even better now. It did last May. So in 6 months, that kit I'm telling you about, she used 3 kits and it restored her beautiful skin back to normal with all the
Wow.
color back. And so in the book, I actually talk about you were there with Terry with Sherry's feet. You
Yes,
know,
I heard that's yes. And
that's
I
how
was
we got the idea for Gaynell's face was because if it healed Sherry's burnt feet, feet and face, the feet are actually tougher than the face is. And I
right.
was like, let's just do what we did with Sherry's feet on Gaynell's face. And so that's what we did. And she did the products and restoration happened. It don't think about it though. Your intentions are not going to make it happen. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. There is no
Yeah.
other answer.
Well, I would love those pictures because I will post those on my
Yes, I'll get it to
Facebook.
you.
And if anybody's wondering about the story, Tammy just did a story. I think it was just a few days ago. You were speaking to a group of women, and you shared that story of someone that was there at that conference that walked on pavement that was probably 125 degrees and blistered her entire feet. So you have to hear the outcome of that. I mean, it's phenomenal,
Yeah,
absolutely
it blew
phenomenal.
all our minds. It
Yeah.
and then my daughter, she burned her skin, and I got a picture of that. And in 5 days, doing what Gaynell did because she's young, her skin restored almost completely in 5 days doing the kit. So and I'm not claiming healing. I'm just claiming if you do consecutively what needs to be done, if you
Yeah.
if you got to have a want to. When I was losing my hair and going bald, by golly, that mud was all over my head every single day. Stories in the book, but I look like, if you ever seen hot spots on a dog, that's what my
Yes.
scalp and neck look like. Raw meat oozing, and the Alabama humidity, it was a nightmare. I had to keep my hair long, and I couldn't. That's why I wear it up all the time, because I can. I don't have any garbage all back here and flaking all over my clothes and looking like I've been out in the snow, and it's actually just skin falling off on my body. It was just nightmare.
Wow.
And women, how when you even got one little zit, you feel like your whole face looks all,
Right.
just hide me. Well, when you got that slop all over your head, I felt like a leper.
Mm,
Unclean is all that just kept coming back to my mind in that time of my life. And I'm just so thankful. I mud my hair once a week. I don't even wash it in between. And I literally now have more hair than I've ever had in my life, because of the Dead Sea, and because of our other product that we sell a lot of is our wild caught marine collagen peptides. We don't make those, but we actually have a company that does the wild catching and then the creation of the marine collagen peptides. There's
wow.
so much going on in the industry right now with collagen. And I want to highly recommend that if you're going to use collagen, that it's wild caught marine collagen. You got to be aware that most of the stuff that's coming out of China is farm raised, which means it's full of antibiotics and all of these things that they're feeding in the fish food to keep these fish from being sick. And
Yeah.
then they mass produce them. But wild caught is going to have all of the amino acids and none of that garbage. Bovine and chicken and all the other different ones that are out there, every animal gets injections. They're going
Yes.
into you. Fish
Yeah.
don't. They just
Mm,
don't. And wild caught, especially. Farm raised, stay clear of even eating farm raised, any kind of fish, shrimp,
yeah.
and things like that, because they are fed garbage to keep
Yeah.
them alive until harvest time.
Yeah. It's so interesting talking to you. I'm actually going to do the mud mask on my husband, so I'm going to be ordering these products. But he gets dandruff, so this would be great on his scalp, wouldn't it? To put that on his scalp, the
Well, we have
the
hair
mud mask.
care products. That's our other top.
Oh, okay.
We make a natural shampoo, a cleansing conditioner, and then a hair mud mask.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
when I first got started, I was just using the raw mud, and it was a nightmare for my hair. And so I began to learn, and then I started making our own extracts, using certified organic herbs, infusing them for a year, and then utilizing all of these extracts in the products. So we have nettle leaf, nettle root, olive leaf, neem leaf. I make 13 regular extracts for face and body, but then I also make it for the hair. And there's other ones in there. We use foti, and all of these horsetail. And all of these things are so helpful for the growth and the regeneration of the hair root. I have baby fine hair, but now, thanks to the things that I've been doing, I have a lot of baby fine hair versus I used to have to wear hair clips, scrunchies, all of these things because I didn't have hair, but I was raised in the 80s.
Yeah.
Got big hair, right? So you figure out I had everything from hair extensions to hair
Yeah.
clips, whatever
Yeah.
what white girl could get away with because I really wanted to have the weaves and all the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I was like, why can't white women have that stuff? But then when you see them with it, it's like, that just doesn't look right, right? So I would find a hair clip, but this is my hair now.
Yes.
But back in the day, this was a scrunchie. But I've
Yeah.
learned how to mask it so well. I actually had women buying hair clips from me. That's a hair clip? That doesn't look like fake hair. I was like, because I know what to
Wow. Yeah, exactly. I'm
do.
just thinking of a couple things as you're talking to me. I have a client that I actually still do, and she just said to me, I'm losing my hair. What could really help me? So I found the solution, your products. And I also am going to connect you to another friend who is in the UK who does all kinds of stuff. She's gone through her own major health crisis and kind of found her healing too through a lot of essential oils and stuff. But she could really add your products to her repertoire as she refers her clients and coaches them. So I'm going to connect the two of you together. So this will be
That'd
really
be
great.
wonderful.
Yeah. And
You're
she's coming on my podcast too. So I will
across
connect
the
you.
pond.
Pardon?
I said, I would like to
across the
go
pond.
on.
Yes. Her name is Roxanne Hardenberg. You can find her on Facebook. She has an incredible story of how she's had to heal her own body and what she's done. And so there's just such power in this industry. I mean, if we're listening to God too, there's such power in that. But I love this industry, just, helping other people. Our own experiences are powerful, and people want to learn how to get help faster, right? We don't need to go to all these other specialists. Look what you've done, Tammy. It's incredible. You didn't have a
Yeah.
background in any of it. I mean, you were hairstylist, cosmetologist, all that, but to get these kind of these downloads for the product, and it's just amazing. I love it.
It's just been God. But
Yeah.
the willingness to listen and move forward is on you. You've
Oh,
got to do what he
yeah.
tells you to do. You can't just
Right.
think about it. But
Right.
I wanted it gone. I was like, well, if that's all it takes is this, slap it on me.
Yeah.
I'm on with that one. But it's just been a wonderful journey, and watching these products as we continue to evolve, because every time we make a batch, I look at European standards, not American.
Mm,
The
mm,
reason being is that when we ship, we could actually be fined, penalized, and have all of these fees come back on our company from Europe if we ship what they don't allow over there.
yeah. Wow.
And so last year, they banned 1,100 ingredients, none of which we used, but the US only banned 11. That's how much different the mindset is in America with our pharma garbage versus European and natural ways, because they pay for everybody's health care.
Right.
Their whole thing is, I want you healthy. So
Yep.
therefore, we're not going to let these garbage ingredients allowed into your body, because we know it can make you sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's even our food, and don't get me started. We'll be
Yeah.
here for 6 days. But women, you just have got to open up your mind and your eyes to what's happening. And if something looks too good to be true, it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And always wait a year to two, 1 to 2 years before, when anything is new out. Don't ever jump on a bandwagon fast. Don't let your doctor jump you on anything fast. They
Mm,
ask for, how long has this been in existence? Well, it's something new. You're the guinea pig.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
who they're going to find out about the side effects down the road for.
Right. Right.
Don't get me started about the injection, because that's coming
Yeah.
out. So, I
Is
mean,
it like Ozempic? Is that what you're talking about? Like the
all
diabetes?
these things,
Yeah.
all of these medications, none of
Yeah.
this is allowed in Europe to be advertised.
Yeah.
None of it.
Yep. Yep.
Zero. Over
Yep.
here, they're actually doing this so that way you go into your doctor and say, I need this.
Yeah.
They don't even have to diagnose you anymore. Now you're self-diagnosing.
Yeah.
Yeah, learn
Yeah.
about God's garden. Essential
Mm,
oils. I had to get off of all the fragrance masks, 4,000 chemicals that are toxic, that you're inhaling, you're putting on the body, you're lathering and slathering in the shower, which is opening your pores and making your body a bigger sponge to draw all this.
right.
You got
Right.
belly fat issues, women. Get rid of your gums, get rid of your maltodextrin, and get rid of all these fragrances that are being absorbed into the body, because it goes straight to belly fat. And it can't,
Wow.
it's stubborn. It won't come off. It
Wow.
won't come off because it's all chemical based. And then you get cancer. Guess what it does? It's like a torch, and it just explodes that
Wow.
cancer in the body. It feeds it.
Wow.
Seriously. One of the biggest feeders for cancer is sugar and
Yep.
alcohol.
Yep.
Those
Yep.
two are
Yep.
huge.
Yep.
But I know so many women that have gone through breast cancer once,
Yep.
and they here and get rid of their toxins, and they get their products, and they get their services, but they're drinking wine every night of their lives. And then the cancer comes back, and they go, well, I've cleaned myself up.
Yeah.
Well, as a former wine a day chick, I literally learned that 3 glasses, 4-ounce glasses, not goblets, girls, 4-ounce glasses increases your chance of breast cancer by 15%. Just three
Three,
glasses a
three
week.
4-ounce glasses a week increases your cancer by 15%.
Yes, your cancer
Wow.
or possibility increases by 15%. Well, if you're doing it every day like I did for 40 years, I'm just a
Wow.
walk, bomb. So
Wow.
you got to learn what you can do and detox. Now, I actually, because I'm a certified insanity instructor, this year marks 11 years. I'm believing God had me start that when I was 50 on purpose to get ready for now so that I can actually help women that are saying, this is an idol in my life. Does not need to be here. If you can't imagine your life without something, you are addicted.
Mm,
And
well
that
said.
was where I was. I could not imagine holidays, birthdays, celebrations, any day
Yeah.
without having my wine, because that was my time. I was my time to unwind, my time to relax. I wasn't in the ditch. I got up every day. I went to work. I did my stuff. I partied like an animal at night. Not really. I'm just kidding around, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I I would unwind around 8:30 until about 10:30 with wine. One
Yeah.
glass led to two. Conversation starts. I say, oh, let's just have a little bit more. And my
Yeah.
husband, we're doing it together.
Yeah.
For 40 years, we've been doing that. And then God was like, you love that more than you love me. And I was like, I don't. He's like, well, then give it to me. And so we did. And he took the urge away, opened our eyes, and is educating us now about helping others. Because when you turn on the TV, you turn on most things, you're going to see the glamorization of alcohol.
Oh, of course.
Everything.
Every celebrity has a wine or a tequila or a vodka or a blah blah blah. It's become extremely social. Look what
Mhm.
happened during COVID. A lot of people started drinking even more,
Well,
covering them.
that's what's
Go
so
ahead.
funny. The churches got closed, but the booze stores and the
Right.
dispensaries stayed open. And here's another thing, if you look, the price on that stuff is not raised, but the price on our food has gone skyrocket.
I never thought about that until you just said it. You are 100% spot on. I never
The
even thought about
wine,
that.
my wine, I was a Woodbridge Merlot or Cabernet, and at
Uh-huh.
Sam's Club you could get the big bottle back then for like 11 something. Now it's down to $9. It dropped in price to get the big bottle, and I'm thinking, why isn't my groceries going down? Think
Wow,
about it.
Tammy.
Think
I mean,
about it.
that's an aha. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of this stuff goes, none of the alcohol or, in the dispensaries, we're okay to stay open because they want us living in a stupor. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't even realize I was living in a fog until it got out of my system. And all of
Yeah.
a sudden, my body has even more energy at 61 this year than it did when I was in my 20s, because
Amazing.
I wasn't back in my 20s, I was sucking down vodka
Yeah.
and partying. I worked in the bars. I was a waitress, and I was that was just a way of life. You
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
moms, stay on those kids.
Yeah.
Stay on those
Wow.
kids. Pray for them and just pray over them and lead by example.
Yeah.
Lead by example. I wasn't a good example when I was young, but now if I had anything that I could, when I look back, what would I change? The only thing I'd change was my choice to pick it up and to make it
Mm,
my best friend instead of my worst enemy, because it does
mm.
not do us any good. Resveratrol is not enough in a glass of wine to do diddly squat to your
Oh,
body,
wow. That's another huge takeaway. Wow.
you
Yeah.
know? And the doctors even prescribe wine for
Yeah.
stress reduction. But here's the problem: the alcohol that's in there dehydrates your body and dehydrates your organs. Women
Yeah.
don't drink enough water, and we won't. I can get on that subject next time for our
Yeah.
another.
I'm going to have
Uh,
you on again. This is
yeah,
so
but
good.
I mean, there's so many things that I've gone through and I've lived through, and God has shown me the answers to. And taking care of you, your body is a temple.
Yeah.
View that as a temple instead
Yeah.
of, ugh, I can't stand myself. Well, if you don't like what you're doing, stop. And if you
Yeah.
can't stop, find help. Get an accountability coach. I've
Yeah.
got a group that I meet with every Tuesday night for an hour called Women Warrior, and we do one thing a week to move the needle forward. This week we're going to do this one thing, because
Mm,
if you add 16 things to your goal list for the whole month, guess what you're going to do?
zero. Yep.
Because
Yep.
it's
It's
too much.
overwhelming. Yeah.
So one move a week is so simple that you can do it. And then you can say, hey, I got that. Why don't I add this? Right.
Yeah.
But I
Oh,
tell them,
that's so
don't do more than 3 a day because then you won't get anything done.
I love that. That's another takeaway. Do one, no more than three things a day.
You got to have your goals for your business, your goals for your life, eating, drinking water. If you aren't drinking water, it's your best friend.
Yeah. Oh, I
Best
love your
friend.
sparkly.
Oh, I love it too. But this will fit in my car's cup holder. I carry it
Yeah.
everywhere I go. And I used to have a reminder on my phone, but when COVID hit, menopause hit Tammy. Tammy
Ah,
gained 30 pounds because of menopause, even teaching insanity 4 days a week. And I was like, okay, what am I not doing? So gallon a day in the month of May, I had been doing that for 7 years at that point. And I was like, okay, we're going to stick with what we've been doing every year. Well, May 1st, I took a picture of myself. May 27th, I took another picture of myself. I had lost 15 pounds because of drinking a gallon of water a day. My skin went from looking to wow. And all of a sudden, I realized how much better I was feeling. And after the end of May came, when I didn't go back to my old way, I was like, you know what? Let's do another monthly challenge and then another one and another one. And now this year will mark 4 years I haven't missed a gallon a day because of just keeping
wow.
on going. It takes 63 days for you to make a habit a lifestyle, 21 days to get it started to see if it's for you, but 63 is where you need to head for because drinking a gallon of water a day might not be for everybody, but even Mayo Clinic says, ladies, 92 ounces minimum a day. And for men,
Wow.
120.
Wow.
Most people on high blood pressure medication are because they don't drink enough water. Your blood is 90% water. If you're not giving your body water, your blood is sludge. Got brain fog? 73% water in your brain, 73% water in your heart. Now, I'm not saying drinking a gallon in 2 hours. I'm saying 12 ounces an hour for 12 hours that you're awake. That's a little bit more, but average that. Then you can
Wow.
get in. But women just they don't think about it. I'm not thirsty. Well,
Right.
you go eat food because you're really thirsty, but your body says, I'm hungry. And that's how come you're not losing weight because you're not flushing. You want to have that water to detoxify you daily. We don't need these things staying in our bodies
Wow.
at
Oh,
all.
these are such good takeaways. I'll put a lot of this stuff in the show notes. These are just
I need to shut up. Then I can.
no, it's so good.
Everybody's
And I
like, you
was
need
just
to have your own
thinking,
podcast. I'm like, I would love to, but I don't. I got one more thing to do.
no, it's so good. And I have another friend that I'm gonna refer you to. Her name's Katie Jolly. She's a naturopath. She's located in New Zealand, so she has a whole story. I mean, I've got people I can refer you to in your products too because
I
and
am
they
I am working on my naturopathic practitioner
oh, fabulous.
certification right now, and it's so funny because I got the course expecting to really learn even more, and I know more than what they put in this course. And
Oh,
I said,
I'm listening to you. I'm
wow,
like, you're
listen
like
to
a
this.
doctor.
This is so cool. I actually I told my husband, I said, why don't I go back to school? He goes, you're 61 years old almost. I said, and
Yeah, exactly.
what am I
And
going to do with the rest? He goes, well, then why don't you get your certification, start marketing yourself that way? But, he said, you going back to school for 10 years. I just can't see that. And I said, well, all right, I can do that. So I'm doing that. But
that's
if I
amazing.
would have known in my 30s what I know now, I would have done it.
Yeah.
I would
But
have done
here
it.
you are, and now you're able to teach everyone what you've learned. You're reversing aging, you're helping people get healthy and not make mistakes, and you're probably teaching women of all ages, right?
Yes, actually, what's interesting is my goal was to be working with women that were premenopausal in their 40s and
Mm,
then menopause and then postmenopausal. But the young ones, they're getting these injections now. And the young ones are starting to ask all the questions about why is this in here? Did you
right.
read what that can do to me? And all these different areas. And so ask the questions, but find the company and don't just say, well, they only have a couple of things in there that's bad for me. One thing in there bad at 1% every single day adds up
Right.
and
Right.
it's in your body and
Right.
it's not going to come out. The other thing, PFASs. Women need to know. This is the latest thing that we've been learning about recently. We actually have a download you can get of all the 35 different names of what a PFAS is. And what these are known as is forever chemicals. They will
Oh,
last forever in your body. They are highly carcinogenic and they last forever in our planet. Our company has
wow.
been bioaccumulate free, which means if it goes on me, in me, or down the drain, it won't hurt anything ever. But with the PFASs, they are forever and they are found in waterproof products, waterproof lipsticks, waterproof eyeliners, waterproof mascaras, waterproof makeups, and they are highly ingested into the body. So when
Wow.
it touches your skin, it's going in. And so those PFASs, that whole list, we have that. So you can actually, because now they are even getting tricky with the names
Oh,
and
wow.
things. And even though you read a label, the big dogs have this because if they're over so many millions a year, they have the right to shift the good ingredient that's down at 1% that should be down on the bottom level. They can shift it all the way to the top and make it look like your product has this much more of it, and it's not true. So nothing
Wow,
is as
Tammy.
it appears in the industry when it comes to beauty. I might get banned, I don't know, but people need to know these things, especially
Yeah.
women, because
Yeah.
we've been duped
Yeah.
that, we have to look a certain way.
Right.
I look at these reels of these girls with 80,000 lines and then they smooth it all in and they look
Yeah.
flawless, but all that makeup is full of BFASs and
Wow.
they're sitting there just toxifying in the name of beauty, but they don't know it. They don't know it. It breaks my
So
heart.
if people want this, should I include that in the show notes or should they reach out and will you just
Oh no,
get on your email list?
I'll send you the website. Should be able to download all of the different things that we've got available that they can download for
Uh,
free.
Okay.
There's one about the toxic ingredients and there's one about the PFASs. There's another one on there, I believe that I did. That's a download for elderly and diabetic caregivers, how to properly take care of the nails for their loved ones, because there's a lot of issues with that, especially with diabetics that are highly dangerous if you don't take care of the feet, especially because the feet
Yeah.
are ignored as people age.
Yep.
And it's one of my specialties is pedicures and aiding
Oh,
with getting rid of all kinds of nail problems and stuff like that.
yeah. And my mom had a salon, so I am very familiar with that, with elderly people and what happens with their feet. And so, and then you add diabetes into that. So, which,
Amputations begin to happen if you ignore it.
yeah. Wow, this
Toes,
is so,
feet,
wow.
the knee. It's crazy what's out there. We also make our own makeup. We have Dead Sea Mineral makeup. We've been making that since 2008.
Okay.
And it has no bismuth oxychloride, no parabens, full coverage. You can go light, you can go heavy, you can actually wet it and make it into stage type makeup. We've got the foundation has 10% minerals in it, Dead Sea minerals in it. The blushers and the bronzers, they don't have the Dead Sea minerals because of the different ingredients won't hold on to the minerals like the titanium dioxide and zinc will. So the makeup we have is about a 25 SPF
Okay.
naturally because of the content. And a lot of people, you're using zinc oxide. Well, just don't snort it. Just don't snort it.
Oh, that's so good. I'm throwing all my crap away after talking to you. Like, this is amazing. I'm so excited. My husband is so much about chemical free and all this stuff. I mean, our skin is our largest organ. I think people forget that. And so this is just an incredible. I mean, I already knew some of this stuff just from having that conversation that we had. And I try to be careful, but I've just learned this is a whole new level. And I didn't realize you all had makeup. I mean, and I'm on your email list and all that, but I didn't realize that you had makeup. I've always
Well,
focused on
we haven't
skincare.
really been talking about it. The lady that made our makeup passed away, and so but we have plenty in stock. It's just that I told my daughter, I said, I don't want to run out of this makeup, so
Yeah.
maybe we just don't talk about it for a little bit, and then we'll share it later because we're learning how to do it ourselves.
Oh,
when
wow.
she
Okay.
passed away. um,
Wow.
with her, she didn't have anything written down, and so
Oh, wow.
we're getting to reinvent that wheel. It was an unexpected situation, and it was just like, now what? Well, we've got
Wow.
poundage of every color that we have in stock, and we'll just, trickle it.
Yeah. Wow.
But it's that's the thing about being a small business. But that's
Yeah.
also a beautiful thing, because I was like, well, now if I'm going to make it, then I can actually make it even better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
And I know this is kind of a whole, because my mom, I grew up also when I was younger in the family restaurant business. So my mom, we kind of went through this whole thing of trying to create, the family dressings, and that's just a whole topic. So I know what happens when you try to go, with all FDA stuff. There's just such a fine line in the US, and, because we just are so chemically laden with everything. And so I am going to buy these products, and my skin, I need to reverse some things. I've got spots on a few spots, and the lines. And so I'm just so excited about what you guys do. I remember that mask. That mask is so amazing. I'll never forget that. It's just incredible.
it is literally my best friend.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So
Um,
I will put all
and
this in the
we,
show
we make
notes.
everything unscented, because I actually teach about it's called the EOC method, and that's essential oil cycling method.
Okay.
And what happens when you buy a lot of products, they do well in the beginning, but then guess what? They plateau, just like your diet does.
Mm.
Just like when you're losing weight with exercise, your body gets adjusted and used to it. So with ours, we everything is mineral based. With the herbs, we have 13 herbal extracts in the product, with no petroleum byproducts whatsoever in any of these products. And God gave me a download. He was like, every other month, pop it with an essential oil blend. And we make our own essential oil blends here. That actually, I've researched each one of them, how to put them methodically together to be beneficial as a perfume or as a skin enhancement in the products. So I always, tell folks, take one drop on your toner pad, put it in there, and then next month just unscented, and then the next month pick up a different one or go back to the favorite one. We have like
Okay.
I think it's 6 different blends that we make, so that way every other month you can pick up a new one.
Yeah.
And our price isn't ridiculous. Our company is not an MLM, so there it's not, the pricing on some of the stuff might kind of freak people out. Like the shampoo, it's higher cost, but here's the thing: it is made with premium ingredients that every time I turn around, the price is going higher.
Right.
It's
Right.
made with lavender water and peppermint water, not street water, which is
Right.
what most places use. They use tap water.
Right.
So hydrosols are what comes after they've distilled the essential oil. So it's actually got properties the essential oil can't have, because it's so light. It's lifted in the steam into, then it becomes that hydrosol. So we use the purified hydrosol water from the essential oils as our base for this, because it stimulates and it aids with the healing and the health of the hair. The mud mask has got over 30 good for your hair in the hair root. I get highlights because I'm a natural brunette. I've never had my hair colored. And at 61, I only have wisdom strands, light amount of gray. My
Wow,
family has
Tammy.
been solid gray. My mother at age 20, my sister and my dad at age 35, and I'm still without a full head of gray hair, because
Wow.
only difference, Dead Sea on me
Wow.
for the last 26 years. And those minerals are that amazing for your body. And
Wow.
if your mom has a salon, I'm always looking to network with salon owners to help them, because I used to teach for the Alabama Board of Education for cosmetology, aesthetics, and nail technology, natural alternatives. And I work a lot with the cosmetologists that see the slop on the head,
Yeah. Yeah.
going,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. All I know is, if you're getting a perm or hair color, I got to put Vaseline on all the stuff on your head so it doesn't burn you. But the problem is it's not helping the
Yeah.
situation. It's just
Yeah.
masking it. And the
Yeah.
Dead Sea, there's ways that you can actually increase. I've got a whole PowerPoint on ways to increase the services in the salon that are beneficial for this, and how to get them on a regimen until you see it's actually getting better and eventually goes away if they stay with the regimen.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my mom doesn't have a salon anymore, but I think this would be great to market to stylists, especially those even that are renting spaces. They have
Yes.
their own space. So if I come across people like that, I will also refer you out for that because I think there's such a need. Now sodium lauryl sulfate has been banned from so many. You can't,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, but
banned from
here's
a
the
lot of
problem.
products.
The natural alternative to it is just as bad. It's just a new name.
Oh, wow.
So, like our
Okay.
shampoo is made with natural soap paste
Oh,
and
wow. Okay.
decylglucoside, which can be used in its raw form on an infant safely. And most natural shampoos do not get a good sudsing and a lathering, but ours does. And I have to use product on my baby fine hair, if not, it'd be in my face all the time. But when I go to the nail or get my hair done, I bring my shampoo and our conditioner, and I have her use it on mine. And she's like, "Well, you've got all this hairspray in your hair." And I said, "And shampoo it."
Uh, yeah.
"Well, don't you need a clarifier?" I said, "Mine is a natural clarifier." She'll wash it once. She goes, "I think it's clean enough." I said, "Go ahead and do it twice just to be on the safe side, get it all out." But she was like blown away. And she goes, "And it smells so
Wow.
good," because we use lavender and peppermint in the hair care, because it's
Wow.
very helpful for stimulation and things like that.
I'm thinking, I mean, this is stimulating something else. I mean, we follow Dean Graziosi. You're probably familiar with that because we're both in the, personal growth and
Oh, yeah.
development space. But, his kids have really bad eczema. And this is,
I know. I was on the call when he did that last year at the beginning of the year, and I was like,
yeah,
"It's cancer," but I'm 1 in 9 million here. So I don't know, we're not
maybe
getting
you should try to figure out and send them some samples because I'm thinking, wow, I mean, your product seems so healing, Tammy. Like you really might be able to make an impact.
born with eczema. I
Were
was
you
born covered
really?
in, yes. And then at 18, it shifted into seborrheic psoriasis. And in my PowerPoint presentations, when I was doing Zoominars, is what I call them, I actually show the pictures of my face and my leg and my hands and, these reactions and things that I go through and
Wow.
burning, itching, and all of that stuff.
Wow. I think that's just a side note, but maybe we could talk about that. I mean, I don't have their mailing address or anything, but
Yeah.
that might be a really amazing thing. And I'm also thinking about what about acne, problems with acne and stuff like that. Does
Oh,
your
the
product?
mud mask. I've been working with an African American nurse right now, and she came to me because she found our Totally Pamper Me has, like, I don't know, 65-star reviews here in town, and we're the only company that has that many 5-star reviews. And she's like, "I have really bad acne." And so, when I used to teach, the dermatologist that I fired after 14 years was a speaker at one of the things I was teaching at. And she was the last day. And she was in there telling all these people all these ways to gouge their client. And I'm sitting in the back of the room just seething because some of the stuff that she told me is what she was telling them, and how to gouge the client, how to
Mhm.
make literally almost $1,000 on one recommendation. And I'm just sitting there going, wow, this is so unreal. So you've got to be careful, even with
Yeah,
who you're seeing.
right.
They're Most people are money mongrels.
And I think what I love about you so much is that your passion, like it's just so fun to watch you talk about this. You light up and there's such joy. And that's the blessing. That's why we're all doing these different things that we're doing. You're making a difference in people's lives. You're making people feel better from the inside out. You're helping them heal their mind, body, and spirit. And you're passionate and it works. It's not a farce. It's not a joke. It's real. I mean, like I said, I've seen you in person. I know your skin is absolutely beautiful. You're a walking testimony of what you've created.
Well,
So,
I just have followed what God's told me to do, and I'm just blessed to be able to give back.
mm,
Even though I've gone through some of the worst times of my life this past year,
yeah,
God's always there. And
yeah.
don't give in, don't give up, don't stop, keep going is probably the biggest message that I could ever
Mm,
send to ladies, because there's days that you just don't want to get out of that bed.
Right.
Get out, and thank God you got another day to make a difference. And
Right.
it's hard to do when you're going through the fire,
Right.
but you just understand the fire is to refine you and
Mm,
bring you into a new level, because where you're at, he can't bless you if you've got things that are holding you down. We
right.
have to let go and let God take over. And that's where I've been. He's always brought me to the bottom of the barrel to look up, to
Yeah.
think the light is the freight train, and the light the whole time is him. And
Yeah.
he's there. He's just waiting on us. He's not going to force himself. I tell my friends all the time, Jesus is a gentleman. He'll never,
Mm,
ever force himself on you. It's your decision to bring him into your life, your world, and what's happening all around you. And a lot of times you don't see him. That's when he's carrying you.
mm,
That's where that footprints in the sand poem comes in.
mm,
And boy, there's been days that I've been going, yeah, I see your feet. I know you're
mm.
carrying me, probably over your shoulder, but you're carrying me.
That's so beautiful. When I'm listening to you, Tammy, and I know we probably got to wrap it up here, but when I listen to you and see what I mean, I had an instant connection when I met you in person. And so when I see from that time I met to where you are now and what God has done, and I know it's hard, it's amazing. And I'm so excited, to be honest, with where you're headed. I think there's even greater things ahead. And I think that's the message too, right? If you want it, any final closing thing is, as you said, it's never too late.
It's
And
never.
midlife, women that are starting businesses midlife, we are the new entrepreneurs, honestly.
Well,
There's data
60 is
on
the new
that.
40.
Yep, it's
It
true.
is.
There's data
It
that shows
truly
that.
is. Because I remember when I was a kid, 40 was old.
Yeah,
It was old
sure
back then,
was.
but it's not. It's
No.
not old anymore. So it's just a miracle. So I want
Yeah.
to just thank you
Oh,
so,
thank you.
so very much. And I guess in closing, let's give the 15% discount code.
Perfect.
We're gonna use Redlo uh,
Okay, very
as
good.
the code.
Very
Uh,
good.
in reverse means older, but we're not getting older. We just celebrate more birthdays
Absolutely.
and get better.
So I will include that so you guys can purchase her products and get 15% off. I'm going to include where you can contact Tammy, all her data in the show notes. Um, Two things before we close. I want to get a picture of you and I also, before I close, I always say, you are seen, you are heard, you are loved, you are valued, and you belong. God bless until we meet again. Mm. May you all continue to step forward. And thank you so much, Tammy, for being here. Thank you for sharing your heart. Thank you for sharing your spirit and your soul and what God has done in your life. And may God continue to bless you in all that you do.
You
Thank you.
too. Thank you.
Thank you so much.